I sat at the very back row of the glittering hall, clutching my small purse like it was an anchor. The music was beautiful, the lights soft and golden, and laughter filled the air, but not around me. My son, Ethan, was getting married, and yet I felt like a ghost at his celebration. I hadn't seen him in 3 years. Ever since his father and I divorced, things between us had slowly fallen apart. His father had remarried quickly, and somehow I was painted as the bitter, lonely mother who couldn't move on. I wasn't invited to the engagement party or the bridal shower. The wedding invitation had arrived only 2 weeks ago. Polite, distant, as if sent out of obligation. Still I came, because despite everything, he was my son. The ceremony had already begun when I slipped quietly inside, unnoticed. The ushers didn't even ask who I was. They just directed me to the end row, the seat for distant relatives or unimportant guests. I smiled through tears as I saw him standing at the altar, handsome, confident, every inch the man I had raised. His bride, a lovely woman named Sophia, glowed with happiness. I wanted to believe she was good for him. I wanted to believe I hadn't lost him completely. When the vows ended and the hall burst into applause, I clapped softly, my hands trembling. At the reception, tables filled fast. Laughter, champagne, and warm hugs everywhere. No one invited me to sit. My ex-husband's new wife, glamorous in silver, gave me a curt nod before turning her back. I stood by the wall, pretending to admire the flowers. Eventually, I found a chair in a quiet corner and sat down, feeling invisible. That's when I heard a calm voice behind me. "Mind if I sit?" I turned and saw a man in a dark suit, maybe in his 50s, with kind eyes and a slightly crooked tie. Before I could answer, he smiled and said softly, "Pretend you're with me." Confused, I blinked. He leaned closer and whispered, "They're watching. You shouldn't be sitting alone on your son's wedding day." For a moment I froze. Then I saw Ethan across the room. He was glancing toward me, and next to him, his father's new wife was whispering something in his ear. My stomach twisted. I looked back at the stranger. "You don't have to," I began, but he waved it off. "I insist," he said, smiling warmly. "I'm Tom, by the way. I'm Sophia's uncle, or so they tell me." I laughed the first time that day. He pulled out a chair and sat beside me, chatting easily about the music, the decorations, the wedding cake. His kindness felt effortless, genuine, the kind that didn't ask for anything. People began to glance our way, and I noticed how the whispers stopped. Even Ethan looked relieved. I didn't understand why, but somehow Tom's presence shielded me from the judgment in the room. When dinner was served, he filled my glass and asked about Ethan's childhood. I told him stories. The time Ethan built a treehouse and fell asleep inside it. The way he used to beg me to read him bedtime stories twice. Tom listened, smiling. "You must be proud," he said quietly. "He seems like a good man." My eyes softened. "I am proud," I said. "I just wish he remembered where he came from." Tom tilted his head. "He will. Sooner or later. Everyone remembers who loved them first." Hours passed, and I almost forgot the ache that had followed me into the hall. When the music slowed, Tom stood and offered his hand. "Come on," he said. "Let's show them you can still dance." I hesitated, embarrassed. "I haven't danced in years." He grinned. "Then tonight's a good night to start again." We stepped onto the dance floor. The soft light shimmered as we moved clumsily but freely. I could feel the curious eyes around us. But for once, I didn't care. I caught a glimpse of Ethan watching. There was a flicker of something on his face. Regret, maybe. After the dance, Tom guided me back to my seat. "Thank you," I whispered. "You didn't have to do any of this." He shrugged lightly. "I didn't do it for you," he said with a teasing smile. "I did it for the lonely woman, sitting where I knew someone important should have been." Later, as the night wound down, Ethan approached me. My heart raced as he stopped in front of my chair. For a long moment, he said, "Nothing." Then quietly, "Mom, can we talk?" We stepped outside under the fairy lights. He looked nervous. "I didn't mean for you to sit alone," he said. "Dad and..." Well, there was a lot of tension. I thought keeping you apart would make things easier. I swallowed the lump in my throat. Easier for who? I asked gently. He sighed. I was wrong. His voice cracked a little. You're my mother. You've been there for me even when I didn't deserve it. Tears welled in my eyes as he continued. Sophia told me you came early, tried to help with the decorations, and no one listened. I should have noticed. I smiled through my tears. It's okay, sweetheart. I just wanted to see you happy. He hugged me tightly, and for the first time in years, I felt my son truly hold me, not out of guilt, but out of love. When I turned around to thank Tom, he was gone. I asked Sophia about him later. She frowned in confusion. Tom? My Uncle Tom passed away last year. I froze. She showed me his picture on her phone. The same man, same kind eyes. My breath caught. Maybe I'd imagined it. Or maybe, just maybe, kindness sometimes comes from places we can't explain. All I know is, that night, I didn't sit alone anymore.